I'm Chris, and you can't talk about me not knowing what it is to be a mom anymore. You know, I tried to upload this video and I deleted it, and I've refilmed it like 10 plus times. Like 10 plus times. Like, honestly, this is kind of irritating. I'm gonna try to like center myself. No, I don't know. I'm just uncomfortable. So a lot of you guys, if you follow me on social media, you are aware in April I was pretty much MIA for a good period of time. When I say good period of time, I didn't go live for a little bit. I was still posting, but I just wasn't live. So what had happened was April 13th, 2018 at 10:36 a.m. I was blessed with a baby. And in case somebody's like, where, what, how, I was blessed with a baby boy. As you can see, he's pretty grown, so I was pretty pregnant, but I was unaware at the time. So I actually found out April 13th, my gender and my weeks, and I also found out that he did not have a heartbeat. So technically, my child and my pregnancy was a miscarriage. So like normal, they send you home and they tell you, to pass him naturally, but I wasn't with that. I tried to be impatient and get him out because the whole situation was very, very draining in a sense the day of. And I didn't involve anybody. I'm really to myself as far as my personal life. So the fact that I'm even doing this is like, yeah. So I got impatient and I tried to get him out, and it went horribly wrong, and I actually ended up having an emergency C-section April 16th at actually 10:30 again. Everything bad happened at 10:30. Like, I have a grudge against that time. Anyway, I know a lot of you guys may feel like, you could relate to this situation, or maybe you've lost a child in the past, and I definitely feel for the people that have had stillborn children. I don't have sympathy for 2-week miscarriages, especially at the point that I was at. Like, I had a whole C-section, like I was ripped apart, and my child was ripped apart. It was horrible, and everybody was not involved in the situation until I was at risk for my uterus rupturing and septic shock, which means an infection could have been caused into my bloodstream, or my uterus would have just ripped in half and I would have died from internal bleeding. So for the most part, I didn't involve anybody until I was rushed to the ER for obviously going into shock from blood loss. I got out the hospital April 27th, I want to say. So I actually was there for a good little minute. It sucked, I will say that. After that, I did leave the country, as you guys know. I didn't post that I was leaving the country. I kind of just, if you knew me, you knew, but I did leave the country directly after that to try to allow my body to go back to normal, because like I said, when I did find out and everything did happen, I did blow up to look as pregnant as I was. So I did take the time to leave, as well as just that personal time. It's really difficult, anytime there's a loss, and I definitely have a lot of self-blame, as well as, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of questions of why things happened the way that they did. But being that now at this time, I actually cannot get pregnant for the next 24 months or 2 years, to be literal. Because my C-section is actually a vertical incision, so it's actually completely different than any other C-section, unless you're having complications in your cesarean, or obviously if there's an emergency like this. So with that being said, I know a lot of people are probably asking, you know, how big was this child and stuff like that. Just know that I was not far enough for him to make it, but far enough that you didn't know, or I'm far enough to have a gender. It's really all the detail I'm going to go into as far as that. I did deal with the situation by myself just because I didn't want to involve anybody else. I just didn't feel the need, considering it was a miscarriage, and this was the first time I was pregnant ever in my life. Kind of cool. I think I look really cute pregnant. I'd show you pictures, but I just feel like it's creepy at this point, so I just try to keep it to myself and continue to move forward. And what I take from the situation, obviously, is that I have to better myself so that I'm able to give the best of myself to another person. And this goes for relationships as well as, you know, taking care of a child. Is, you know, sometimes I'm not giving the best of myself to someone, and I really do need to allow that person to have the best of me. So I have to better myself so I can be the best me that I can be. So I really look at this as an opportunity to take this time to be a better me, to be on top of my shit, eat 3 times a day, get 8 hours of sleep. Things that you may think that everybody does, but I know that I struggle with. And for somebody who is like, you're miserable or whatever the case may be, I lost my relationship to cheating, and then I turned around and lost a child. So there is no peace right now. I'm not miserable obviously, but I'm in a place where I have to rebuild myself and understand why things happen the way that they did, and how can I change my actions so that they do not reoccur, if that makes sense. So for me, there is no I'm at peace. I'm not at peace with any of what happened. I'm not accepting of it. I'm very hostile towards the situation. If talked about, it's okay for me to talk about it, but if it's brought up to me, I'm really, really hostile towards it. I try to be lighthearted in a sense, just because the more you think about it, the more it is very, very, very depressing. Like literally you're finding out the 13th and then you're getting ripped apart on the 16th. Things happen very, very quickly, and I do want to give a big shout out to anybody and anyone who was involved or there. Thank you, because I know that I was irate and I was not myself, because there was a lot of emotions and a lot of tension involving, you know, how fast everything happened. So for me, and what I take away from the situation is I am rebuilding myself. Everything happens for a reason, and this is my time to be the best me that I can be, so I can then try this again. Because I will say, you know, we all say we never want kids. I will tell you, I was the first to say, I will preach it, talk it all day, every day, that I was never gonna have a child. But when you lay down and you get an ultrasound, all that goes out the window. I will tell you that I used to think that I was in love. I used to think that I had serious relationships. I will 100% tell you that this was my first and only love. There is no better love than loving a child. And it also allows you to love yourself in a different perspective, because you understand that you can then be responsible for something that you created that will go on to live for a legacy. So for me, it was very eye-opening, and I'm really, really optimistic about the future, and I try to understand and realize that, you know, my body wasn't ready. Obviously, if I had a C-section, my body was not ready, and I could have mentally gotten ready, of course, but my body just wasn't having it. So for those of you that have been messaging me about where I got my stomach done, or if I had a BBL, I have not had any other plastic surgery except for my chest, which was April of 2017, a year ago, which was crazy. I just had my augmentation, and then to turn around and get pregnant was like, ugh. But my body didn't really change. But those of you that are seeing my body now and see those curves are from being pregnant. And my weight changed. So I'm normally under 100 pounds. My pregnancy weight was 104.4, and I actually somehow by the grace of God, am at a stable 102. So those are the changes that have happened, and those are what caused those changes. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, you did not have to make this video, you did not have to come out with this, but I do wanna be able to watch this 2 years from now and be proud of myself of how far I've grown and how much I've been able to better myself in order to take this journey again. Second time's the charm, you feel me? So when you're watching this, yes, I was pregnant. No, I didn't tell you, because it's none of your business. But I'm sharing this experience with you now because you really don't know. And for somebody who's gonna try to tell me your boobs didn't hurt, my boobs are fake. You didn't have a period? No, I don't get periods, I'm on birth control. Your doctor didn't, I took pregnancy tests, they came up negative. So for somebody to think that it's impossible for you to not know, it is not impossible. My doctor even was like, I've never seen a case like this. Just with everything that did go on. I know a lot of people are like, C-sections at this amount of weeks or under a certain amount of weeks are unheard of. I am definitely the 1% in every single way. I can say that 100% wholeheartedly, that I am the 1%, not only in my income, but as a person and my personality, as well as my body. I'm just an exception. So, you know, we have to take every experience for what it is. And if you are watching this and it's hurting your heart, I get it. Trust me, I still have an ultrasound. I know you guys see it in the back of my live, all the way in the back. I'm not throwing away my ultrasound until I get pregnant again. So that's just my personal preference. I think that that's what's helping me heal, as well as reminding me, you know, that there can be somebody else in the future, and there's hope. And as long as we have hope, we can continue to move forward. So for those of you that have negative feelings towards me that are watching this video, I've been through hell and back, and I walk barefoot everywhere. So, yeah. And a fun fact, if I had him, he would be the first official wealthy college kid. Isn't that cute? I thought that was the cutest thing. On God, that's what I was thinking about. I was like, oh, cool, I have a whole wealthy college kid. I guess I can apply for graduation. Inbox me if you are somebody who has had a similar situation. I have no problem bouncing ideas off. I am very, very obsessed with seeing people that did have a cesarean and VBAC, although I have been told if I get pregnant in the next 2 years or do try to birth naturally, I will die. My uterus will rupture, meaning rip, and you'll die from internal bleeding. So I'm really interested nowadays in seeing people that, you know, go from rare situations or recover from situations like this, although I understand that it is rare. So I have to just kind of take it for what it is. And if I have to have a C-section, I guess Dr. Miami will be seeing me for a new stomach, because C-sections, I think, are tough. I don't know. I was a C-section baby, so I really can't beat it up for what it is. So I don't know. I'm Chris, and you can't talk about me not knowing what it is to be a mom anymore.